Hey everyone, I'm James Jump. Welcome to the new show from Big Condo Radio called Cinema Snaps. Before we get into it, don't forget to like and subscribe. On the show, I bring on people, we talk about our favourite directors, the ins and outs of their movies, and have a good time. So today's director in question is Wes Anderson. The three movies we'll be discussing are his first movie, Bottle Rocket, one of his first stop motion movies, Fantastic Mr. Fox, and one of his lesser liked movies, Moonrise Kingdom. And today with me, I've got a special guest, Jack Ward.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hi, Jack. Okay, so Jack, we're going to start off with his first movie, Bottle Rocket. It is the first movie released in 1996 with the Wilson twins. What do you think of it?
I think it's quite a good debut film. It doesn't have as much as like a Wes Anderson overall style, but I think as a first feature and as a heist film.
It's actually based off a short film written by one of the Wilson twins, actually.
I was reading before that Bottle Rocket was actually based a little bit off in Wes Anderson's experience, where he faked a heist in his own apartment with Owen Wilson because he had a window, but like the landlord didn't want to fix it, so he faked like a break-in.
Oh, nice. Because the movie's so different than actual Wes Anderson style. I mean, there is something what is prevalent there. You haven't got the colours yet. He hasn't really started experimenting with it, like, he does his massive colour palettes. But we do have the soundtrack, which I think is always great with Wes Anderson movies. They're always so flushed out and broad, and they're always something you'll always remember from a Wes Anderson movie. And the movies are so different to what it actually is as new stuff. But what do you reckon the best scene is?
Best scene probably when they break into that building.
I mean, I do like the dynamic between the brothers, the Wilson brothers. I feel like their dynamic is something. It's nice to see, because like, when I first watched it, I didn't recognize it. It was Woodrow Wilson. I was like, wait, who is this? So I had to research it up and all that. But yeah, I think one of the best scenes in the movie is probably when they, so they're both lying on the grass, and Anthony's character, I think, says, "Oh, you want to come with me? Come on, we'll be friends again." And I think he punches him in the nose, and he runs away with the money. And then he just cuts. Because for the movie, I'm mixed on it. Do you think I've said before, but do you reckon it's a good movie for a debut?
For the first film, yeah, it's a good film. But comparing it to like the rest of his,
no, definitely,
it's best.
Because like when I watched it, the first act I thought was great because I got thrown into this world of just these characters that reminded me a lot of Bill and Ted, and I feel like there was a lot of resemblance to like early Bill and Ted like designs in like the way the characters act.
Yeah, a lot of like Wes Anderson style, you might not see it through like the mise en scene, but like through his dialogue and his characters of his like, that's where a lot of his style actually comes from.
No, yeah.
Through like these quirky characters.
That's the thing, because the characters are like pretty quirky. I hate saying the word quirky, sorry, it just makes me laugh up. But yeah, they're quirky enough that they're lovable characters. And when they're put in with when they're put in with some good cinematography, I think the editing's basic. Yeah. There's nothing really stands out in this movie, because Wes Anderson, with his editing, he can get very wild of it. But for a first movie, I think it was a great attempt, because do you know Martin Scorsese? He said it was one of his favourite films from the 90s.
He likes heist films, I suppose.
It's like the heist, the heist mafia type films. But like I just didn't know. Like for the first act, brilliant. Second act, it just dragged on. I felt like the hotel scene. I feel like the whole hotel that was the most boring part of the movie.
Yeah, where he's trying to like get that girl.
Yeah, I feel like the love interest, it wasn't. I'm not quite sure. It could appeal to some other people, but for me and everyone I've asked, it doesn't appeal to anyone. Because I know because other films can do love good, but it just felt like a comedy sketch which should have ended in the first minute, but it was like driving the plot in some way. I mean, it was nice near the end when they focused on the two friends again, and the driver Bobby. But the ending, what did you think of that?
Where he's in prison.
When he's in prison, and I think it's called Jimmy, the heist guy. He robs his apartment while the heist goes wrong at the UPS at the storage place. You can't remember it?
Not really.
Okay, so in the film, the heist is going wrong. Applejack's been shot by Anthony, and what happens is we find out later on. It just cuts to a moving company robbing the driver's house, Bobby's house, to show like that they were using they were getting used, so because they could rob Bobby's house. Yeah. But what about the actual ending where he's in prison? Because he is mentally ill.
Yeah, like at the start of the film, you see him in like a mental hospital, and then he ends up just in prison. I suppose that's just where he belonged.
It's not really. I'm not going to say it. There's not really social messages in Wes Anderson movies, but you reckon, I feel like it's like a little nod to like progression systems about how we treat mentally ill people. I feel like there's a little nod to that. I like to think of my own little theories about stuff like that.
Yeah, you can see like social issues and like political issues throughout his films, like House of Dogs and stuff.
Oh, I love Dogs. That was a good movie. Not his best though, I don't reckon. But back to his first movie, for a debut, for one of the first movies he made, you know it was a $6 million budget. It only made around 500,000.
Did it really?
It flopped massively in terms of box office. It's not regarded as an alright film, which I reckon it's like redeemed itself in a way. Yeah. But back to the characters again. They're quirky enough to carry the movie. The movie seems to be carried by these quirky characters, because without the two main characters, there's not really much to go off on it. Because in for example, Wes Anderson's newer stuff, you've got more of the score. You have that over the top editing, the over the top characters. Like that's the thing with Wes Anderson. He's great at doing heist settings, I reckon.
Yeah, you think? What other films do you think he's done a good heist?
I feel like heist settings. We'll talk about this later on, but Fantastic Mr. Fox, that was a great heist setting. I feel like runaway settings as well, like run away from your past, because he does like to focus on running away from your problems. Wes Anderson.
Going back to like the characters about like the two brothers, he deals a lot about like family issues.
Yeah.
Throughout all of his films, really.
He does bring a lot of like social issues into it. He's very like, I wouldn't say overly political. I feel like you got to like delve in there a bit to like see the political side of Wes Anderson. But I feel like it was a fun comedy. What I wasn't expecting to be good. Personally, for a movie, I wouldn't watch it again for a while. I wouldn't really watch it again. I wouldn't really call it one of like the greatest. Like, oh yeah, you definitely have to watch that. But I feel like if you're a massive Wes Anderson fan, just give it a watch. It's just a good little movie you can just check out. You know what I mean? Like, do you reckon that when years to come it'll stand the test of time?
Probably not, compared to all of his later films. What will be remembered more, but like, I suppose it's probably just a classic. It ain't.
I only found out about it recently, but I wanna quickly swift on here because I feel like we've drained Bottle Rocket all we can. Watch it. But I want to talk about Fantastic Mr. Fox, the movie based on the Roald Dahl book. A little fun trivia, not trivia, a little fun fact here. Fantastic Mr. Fox was the first ever Roald Dahl book Wes Anderson ever owned.
That's it, well.
And I feel like as a child, I did not appreciate Fantastic Mr. Fox.
I don't think any child did.
No, yeah.
Take them to the cinema, they come out like a silly.
I remember seeing that and I thought, oh, it's a bit rubbish. Because I remember the scene the Rolling Stones came on and they were digging. They were like digging a tunnel. I always remember seeing that in cinema in The View. And I was like, this is boring. Yeah, I do not like this.
But like as an adult, you more realise.
Yeah.
Like, it's a great film.
I rewatched it recently. And there's so much you can appreciate in it. Personally, I think I'm going as far to say this is one of the best soundtracks in a kids movie. Because it is for kids, but I reckon...
Shrek 2?
Shrek 2 soundtrack. I reckon it's got one of the best soundtracks. You've got the Beach Boys, Heroes and Villains, playing when they go to the heist. You've got Rolling Stones, the Davy Crockett song with his Walkman. It's just so bliss, and the aesthetic of Wes Anderson. Like, the colours he uses, it's something what you just grasp at, and you just think...
It's such like an autumn feel, like aesthetic with all these oranges and yellows. It just feels so... like vibrant. And they pop out of all the stuff he does around the surroundings, because it's all so detailed. Like the team what Wes Anderson works with, it's so detailed. Like there's a scene where in the beginning and the end where Mr. Fox and his wife he goes, I'm pregnant, she says, and he goes, you're glowing. It just like cuts this plastic fox, and there's like a resemblance of all these like micro hairs on this little toy doll fox and this plastic fox in a cage what's been like constructed, and it's just amazing to see. They actually used real fox hair.
Did they?
On the figures, yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
That is quite cool.
That's a pretty cool thing.
All those foxes were died for Wes Anderson.
For Wes Anderson's enjoyment.
Yeah,
But yeah, what do you reckon the best scene is? Because I'm gonna be honest, I could talk about Fantastic Mr. Fox for hours. But go on.
Either way, he sees the wolf or the end scene when they're in the supermarket. They're quite good scenes.
The wolf scene is great, but what's been big for me, one of the best. Okay, actually, get back to the wolf scene for a minute. I never understood that, but then I still don't understand it properly. I think it's just him overcoming his fears.
Like, he's always wanted to be like a free wolf, like a full free wolf. I mean, not a free wolf,
free
a
fox,
fox, yes. But he's been stuck with like having a family and stuff, whilst like the wolf is fully free, like he's fully wild. Like at the end of the film, he like says like they're free, but like not fully. Like they have an artificial freeness.
It's definitely shown. But, like the dull colours of the supermarket sometimes. But my favourite scenes, it's actually mostly in the beginning. It's when him and his wife, Mr. Fox and his wife, they go to rob the farmer's house, and the Beach Boys starts playing, and you're just thrown into this, like, I don't know why, like this euphoric happiness of all these bright colours, what Wes Anderson's produced, the fastness of the fox running around this amazing scenery, and it just, they get captured, and it says, because bang, a cage comes on, it says she's pregnant, I've said that, and it just alludes to the fox in 2 years, or 12 years Fox time, or 2 years, yeah. But I just feel like that was a nice little scene. But I do want to pick some bits out of the entire movie. I didn't like, I'm sorry, I forgot the name here. Do you know the kid fox? His son?
Ash.
Ash. I did not like Ash's character.
Really? I thought he was quite cool where he has like the little sock hat on. He has like his own problems with like Mr. Fox is dealing with like just a midlife crisis, whilst Ash is trying to like live up to
his father's legacy.
Yeah.
Because that's I feel like that movie is a film about living up to expectations, I reckon. But I just didn't like Ash's character in general. Like, I wanted him to do well so bad. I wanted to see more character development, and it did get shown in the end. It did get shown in the end when he done his when he went to try and get his dad's tail. But through it just felt a bit.
Yeah, he just seems like a little bit of an annoying character compared to like, the cousin.
He seems annoying, but it's the fact that suddenly he's good at everything. I feel like showing gradual change would have been a better way to show it, instead of this like, oh, you've done bad all your life and now the one time you need it, everything's going well. It's just a cinema cliche what I always nitpick at every movie I see.
Do you really think? I just think like throughout the whole film, even when he's trying to like save his cousin near the end, he still can't really like like he can't even cut like the bolt or anything. He fails. Because
1 minute ago he was failing, knocked him off. The next minute he's jumping, dodging bullets, letting a rabid beagle out, and it's just like, I feel like once again I feel like it was just a way to progress plot. But here's another fun fact. You know the suits what Fantastic Mr. Fox wears?
Yeah.
They were actually modelled and styled from Wes Anderson's outfit cabinet.
He has got some drip, hasn't he?
He has got some pretty good drip. You try to copy that? Fox
All Fox fair.
No, but I love that movie. I like the character, hate the progression, and it's mad to think that for a movie aimed at kids, it flopped. But I think the movie flopped in general, but it got great scores. Really? Yeah, apparently I read up it flopped a little bit for a children's movie. But when you rewatch that, it's got a Criterion collection now.
I think because like Roald Dahl's more targeted to like the older kids.
Yeah.
I don't know when Roald Dahl was like an active writer, but like it seems more like adults.
He's dead.
Yeah, I know he's dead, but like I know like I don't know when he was active, so I think adults would more enjoy that film because that's what they grew up reading. No,
yeah, I 100% agree with that, and I feel like the style, like I didn't know. I just loved the way it just panned out. Like they fed poison blueberries to the beagles, what was enough to kill an elephant, and it just like it shows this beagle eats it and it goes, it just drops to the ground.
Or that Mr. Fox's like mate, where every time like you just look at him,
the possum,
he's got the dozy eyes.
His trademark goes like he goes like that. It's like, it's my trademark. It's just so unexpected.
One thing about like Mr. Fox, it's like kind of that meta storytelling, as you can see through like a lot of his films. Because this is based off a book and it opens up with the book. Like a lot of his films, like I don't know if you've seen Rushmore. It's like played in different like different plays. Like it opens with curtains when different terms start, or the Grand Budapest, where it's a story inside of a story inside of a story. I think that's where it's opened. One of his main directors.
But that's what I love about Wes Anderson. He does movies what feel like plays. Like Fantastic Mr. Fox could be a play. Moonrise Kingdom could be a play. Isle of Dogs could be a play. What's the one? Oh my god, I forgot the name.
I think it's because of that like symmetry. It kind of looks like a play. Kind of.
He's very. This is what it sounds weird, but he's very symmetrical. He's very like based off how everything lines up, like the rule of thirds. Like if you put a shot into the rule of thirds, it's so perfectly aligned. And I feel like every shot, a bit like Blade Runner 2049 here. Sorry, just the cross referencing movies. It feels like a background. It feels like a background for like a computer. Like if almost every shot from Fantastic Mr. Fox is beautiful, and it's just the fact it's all like done shot. And George Clooney's performance and oh my god, I forgot.
Oh. That's gonna annoy me.
Yeah, it's gonna annoy me. George Clooney's performance was amazing, but the actress who played Mrs. Fox, did you know, she influenced her performance by staring at a fox for 10 minutes in a hotel in London during the recording of Mamma Mia. Because oh my god, I'm sorry about this. During the recording of Mamma Mia, she was staring outside the hotel.
Meryl Streep?
I think it was Meryl Streep. It could have been, yeah, Meryl Streep. Basically, she was staring outside of a window for 10 minutes in their London hotel. And she saw a fox, and apparently she was so mesmerised by it. It had like not a staring contest, but it was just like proper staring at each other for 10 minutes.
Wes Anderson walked in with his like fox fur coat.
Well, it's like
one of them's escaped.
Well, he's just staring at it in the street. Cheers. Then Wes Anderson comes in with like a bag and goes, takes it.
Who's your favourite character in
probably either the possum, or going basically at Mr. Fox. The cousin was annoying. I'm gonna be honest.
I think he's quite cool.
He's like he's like that character who knows it all. I feel like the plot of he's got double pneumonia. His dad. Like,
it can't be that bad.
It's just the fact this massive, like, imagine real world problems for a fox. Yeah. Like you see him getting mortgages, writing for the paper in a job he hates. He wants to move to the good end of town.
Yeah, how they send letters to each other through like magazine cutouts.
The rat.
And they start talking to each other. You're like, what?
Willem Dafoe's rat performance is great.
Oh yeah, like with the switchblade.
The rat with the switchblade. Oh, I could see why I didn't like this as a kid. Like
it must have just been really confusing.
No, yeah, that's exactly what it was. Like I remember asking people, what do you think of that? And they were like, I can't remember. It was shit.
All I want to watch is Despicable Me.
Oh, and
look at some minions, not some like midlife crisis fox.
Because that's what it is. It's about a fox during a midlife crisis. Like if someone said to me, this film's like really good and you're gonna love it. It's about a fox during a midlife crisis. It's just really ludicrous, the plot, and I feel like Wes Anderson's channeled that amazingly. Like, Wes Anderson, what he's done with Fantastic Mr. Fox, I think he tried to replicate in Isle of Dogs, but I feel like it just didn't go well because of a bit of racial stereotyping in Isle of Dogs.
I kind of see, but then I kind of argue as he has a whole crew of Japanese people, so I don't know.
Question for another day. So, his final movie I want to talk about is one what not many people like, not many people know of, or not many people care. And it's Jack's favourite movie. I want to talk about Moonrise Kingdom. Jack, I'm going to let you take the floor in the beginning for this.
Well, Moonrise Kingdom, based in the 1960s, his first period piece, like later on to like Grand Budapest, one of his other ones, follows the story of Sam and Susie, both 12-year-olds, and they're going through like their little own quarter life crisis. They're in that in between stage of being children to like being teenagers, and they just want to escape. It
really is like a way of life story, like something like people developing. Because when it starts off, they're in this summer camp. I mean, it starts off showing the 4 symphonies of music, and I feel like that was so. I'm going to use this word again, euphoric. Like the way it worked out, it was so euphoric. The way it played off of all the colours in the background, once again, that autumn feel, because Wes Anderson to me is the word autumn. So when you say Wes Anderson, like autumn, aesthetic. And it just plays off on that, and then it goes to the camp, and it shows him, like, this weird world, this weird island, this little kooky town, and you just like, I'm blown away by how weird it is and how different it is to like something. Because it's definitely feel like a Wes Anderson movie with
I
the
think it's his most Wes Anderson visually film.
with the music as well.
Oh,
But like
such a great score.
like you get the score's amazing, not as fantastic Mr. Fox good, but still amazing. But you go into this like camp, and it's so perfect. Once again, rule of thirds, symmetry. It's got so much symmetrical like value. The way it all works out, he walks through the camp. The tree house was built too high, and he goes that's
On, like, a tiny
yeah. He
pole.
goes that's a hazard. That's a life violation. That's a risk. And they go to this is his last name Mikowski.
Mikowski.
Yeah. They go to the camp. They go, Mikowski, we need a count check. And what happens is they just go to it, and he's gone.
Didn't no one notice? They're like, where is he? And then he's got like a little hole, like Shawshank Redemption.
No, yeah, I love that little throwback to like a little Shawshank Redemption nod. Like I feel like that was great. But another thing about the opening is that it doesn't give you much about the plot. It gives you little bits, but you're thrown into this character Sam, who I'm gonna be honest, Sam's character's alright, not the best written character, but then you meet all the other characters. You meet Susie, and I feel like it shows a relationship between them growing, which I love.
Yeah, like you jump in and you don't know why this kid has ran away for like halfway through the film until they finally meet. Well, what's quite cool.
I feel like for best scenes wise, I don't reckon there's many, but the ones they do have are amazing. I feel like the best scene, one of the best, is either the ending on the rooftop with the use of colours, the Chiaroscuro lighting, like the noir lighting, and the scene where they hit the wolf. He throws a knife at the wolf.
The wolf.
Yeah, the dog. I mean,
the dog. Yeah, throughout his films, he always likes the.
Yeah, he likes animal abuse.
Yeah, I know he does, doesn't he?
Yeah, is that something we've got to like pay attention to?
Like in Fantastic Mr. Fox, he kills dogs in this one.
Yeah, he's like got a vendetta against the dogs.
With like the dog dying though, I kind of get why he did it. It's to show like the actions of these kids actually as causes. Like you might see it's all like wonderful, kind of like this sweet little world, but like the threat of death is actually
real. Yeah. It shows death is real. Like I do like this. Like the thing is about the movie is it's so weird. Like 12-year-olds aren't just gonna suddenly get up and run away together because they're in love. It's like symbolizing that period of like the honeymoon phase when you're with someone. I call it the honeymoon phase. Like that 2 weeks of amazing. It's like he's trying to visualize what it's like to be young and stupid. But
yeah, like you said he made the film like how he felt when he was like that age. That like wonderful, like your first crush.
Like Wes Anderson, the way he's played that off, I feel like there was some things I wouldn't have done in that movie. I don't want to get into them now. I don't want to get into them, like the scene where they're setting up for camp. I don't think that was stylistically a good choice. I feel like they could have done more something other things. I did like the scene when they were dancing though, because that was like
it's like quite a sweet scene.
It's a sweet scene. There's nothing malice against it, but I feel like as far as like best scenes go, the movie hasn't got many. But for what it does have, it's a pretty good movie. But I want to ask you a question for you now. Why is it your favorite movie?
So many reasons.
Let's hear some.
First off, I do like the romance genre, and I think it does it very well. And it's just like quirky. It was new. Like I was new to film studies, and like I watched this film, and I was just like blown away with all like the amazing score and just beautiful visuals. With just like a simple, nice, simple plot, but just like layered with like characters. Like every character has like its own back.
Yes,
its own,
the
like,
world built around it. Oh my god, the world built around this movie. Like you've got the boat police, is it? The policeman who lives on like the docks, and he like almost takes a father figure to Sam when he has to take him back. He like tries to like make this paternal figure to him. And it works. I love the little aspect to it.
And you've got like Susie's parents, where they're going through like a bit of a iffy patch.
Yeah.
Where like Bill Murray's character's like going through like a depressive episode, because his wife's cheating on him.
No. Like the entire aspect of just, it's like seeing it through the eyes of the child. It's like you could show a divorce story or like a story of people fighting through an eyes of a teenager our age, 17, or something like that. It would be like normal, just they're fighting and stuff like that. But you could show it through the eyes of someone who's innocent, because that movie displays innocence perfectly. I reckon that movie is just. I feel like it's a symbolism just for the words innocence.
Going on to that innocence with the characters Sam and Susie, I think they're trying to break through that innocence barrier during like the camp scene.
Yeah.
I mean, like when they set up camp. One thing about Wes Anderson, he does like to make his child actors, like characters, more mature than their adult counterparts.
I did like that aspect. I felt like in the beginning for the opening scene, if you contrast that to the ending, I can't remember much of the ending, but I can remember it's massively different. That's the thing about Wes Anderson. He shows character development brilliantly, and it's because Moonrise Kingdom, not many people liked it, and I get why. I 100% get why. Personally, stylistically, for a Wes Anderson movie, it's the most Wes Anderson movie, as you said.
It's so visually pleasing. Just like if you're just looking at it, like visually, it's stunning.
I feel like for one of the best movies of all time. No, I'm gonna say it. I didn't get a Criterion.
All Wes Anderson films have Criterion.
Did Bottle Rocket get one?
Yes.
Oh God! I may want to pick that up. I do like the characters in that. But yeah, I feel like one of the best movies of all time. No. One of the best Wes Anderson movies, yes, and it's highly skipped that one. It is very highly skipped that one. If I had to put a ranking in what I've seen, I've got to say it's my top 3.
I'm pretty sure it's in your top 20, isn't it? It used to be.
It used to be in my top 20. It's now in my top 25. It got demoted. Fantastic Mr. Fox, funnily enough, took the place. Yeah. So I feel like for top 3, it goes Fantastic Mr. Fox. I'm a stickler for Isle of Dogs. I'm gonna be honest. I've always loved that movie. I saw it was my first Wes Anderson. No, second Wes Anderson I saw in I was gonna say jail. in cinema.
You've been to jail, eh?
Second Wes Anderson movie I saw in cinema. And I saw it twice. I got it on Steelbook.
I'm jealous.
It's a fun little movie about dogs, and I love dogs.
Like the title itself is I love dogs.
I love dogs. Yeah.
How can you not love it?
That's a good time. It brings me back to 2018, a time when it was simpler, and it's just a good movie. Then it's Moonrise Kingdom, because there's so much to appreciate in Moonrise Kingdom, and that's what I love about Wes Anderson. Every movie he brings forward, he's got something to appreciate in it, and that's why his next one, what's it called again?
French Dispatch.
That's it. I feel like that's gonna have some good scenes. That's gonna have some good memorable things in it. It's gonna be a nice shaped movie. What about you?
So disappointing how it hasn't been released yet. It annoys me so much. Been waiting for ages. I just want Timothée Chalamet.
I'm not too fussed on Timothée Chalamet. I feel like he's gonna be good in Dune. Dune. That's definitely a movie one to watch. But Wes Anderson, great director.
My favourite.
Your favourite director? I'm not going to knock you on your favourite director there, because it's a respectable choice and everyone has an opinion for that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a good. Yeah, Wes Anderson's great. I'm glad we had a good chat about Wes Anderson.
Compare him to like the depth or like overall storytelling like Stanley Kubrick or Martin Scorsese. Of course, he ain't the best.
No, yeah.
But like all of his like I don't see any real bad film in his filmography really.
For visuals, I love him. Visually, this man is stunning.
Like, you could walk downstairs and your mum's watching a film. You can look at it for like 2 seconds and you can go, "Oh, you're watching a Wes Anderson film," just because. He's
recognizable. It's like the Tarantino flair. It's like the Edgar Wright, the camera angle. Like, you know when someone's watching a Wes Anderson movie because of the way it is. And Wes Anderson, I dare say he's one of the best visual directors of our time, visually, for like aesthetics. I mean, compared to like someone like Del Toro, I would dare say he's better. Wes Anderson with visuals.
Yeah, Del Toro's more of like that darker type of.
Yeah, it's a nice. Go on, sorry.
No, it's alright. I'm just saying about his dark aesthetic.
It's a nice juxtaposition. But there have been some movie recommendations. I've been James Jump. This has been Jack Ward. You got anything you want to say, Jack?
No, I'm alright, thanks.
Okay, Jack. So I hope you enjoyed this session. Catch you in the next one. Snapping you some films.